everybody, this is Jim the Tabletop Engineer. Welcome to a new playthrough video. Today I am going to be playing 4 Against Mars. This is episode 2, and this is where I'm going to take my survivors out into the town for the first time. I've got a whiteboard here. You can do this on just straight pencil and paper. You could do it in a notebook like this one. I'm going to be using what they call the town map from the book. These are the warehouse, condos, river, labs, church, cottages, restaurant, farms, malls, parks, hardware store, hospital, stadium, school, town center, police station, library, monument, labs, factory, train center. They're all written here. Now, you can randomize this. You can roll, but I'm just going with what they recommend for the starting town. The next thing I need to do, I need to roll a d6 for which of these is my a safe house. So the warehouse is my safe house. So I'm gonna write here safe house, and the safe house comes into play when you're running from enemies. If you can make it back to the safe house without enemies chasing you or following you, it's where nothing happens really. You've sort of just got a safe spot to rest up. All right, so in this game, you play 4 survivors. I'm going to put my 4 survivors in the warehouse right now, and I can move around this town. Now, I can only move with the lines that connect. If you'll see, there are, like for instance, there's nothing that connects the warehouse to the condos. If I want to go to the condos, I have to go down to the restaurant, boom, boom, cross to the school, and then up. So it's takes time. This is a white column, this is a gray column, this is a black column. As you move right, it gets more dangerous. The aliens are more likely to attack you or surprise you over here, somewhat likely and unlikely. You get what's called a -1 on the encounter rolls for this column. You get nothing for this, 0, and then you get a +1 on this. So as you move around, you're going to be doing encounters. Just like the game 4 Against Darkness, think of this as moving into rooms and hallways. There's no hallways here. You're moving room to room, and when you get in a room, you're going to roll on a random table to see what's there. There might be a weapon. There might be a cache of food. There could be nothing. There could be an ambush. There could be a whole lot of things. And it all starts on page 74. And what I'm going to do, until I get myself some, I've got to figure out which of these to print out as references. I'm just going to write down page 74 is the encounter table, just so I know where to go back for it. So, by the way, if you watched episode 1, I told you that I needed to decide what skills to pick. I was wrong there. They all start at level 1. Only when you level up do you get to pick a new skill. You either level up or you get to pick a skill, not both. So they don't start with skills just yet. I did pick their milestones. Most of them are going to be milestone of kill a certain number of an alien type. I will make my character sheet available for you to download so that you can follow along. When you download, say this is episode 2, so when you download the episode 2 character sheet, you're seeing my characters right now before anything has happened. So when this game ends, I will have an episode 3, and the character sheet for that will be when that game starts. Now today, what I'm going to do is I'm really just basically going to explore the town. There are things you can do. There's missions that you can take, and you will roll for those randomly. There are subplots that can be picked up. But today, in order just to sort of get familiar with the rules, the combat, and things like that, I'm just going to go exploring. I'm not going to go too far from my safe house, and we're just going to see what happens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move from my warehouse to the cottages. That's a turn. And there's an encounter table. You roll 2d6 and you just add them. So I will add these. And remember, I'm subtracting 1 from the encounter, from the total, because I'm in this first column. I rolled a 5 and a 1, so that's a 6. -1 is 5. A 5 says no encounter. Roll on the special feature table. You may search the area after resolving the special feature. We'll get to searching in just a second. So here is the special feature table, page 75. It's just a D6. I rolled a 1. Rest, food, and drink. All characters are offered food and drink. Wounded characters heal 1 life. So nothing really exciting happened, although if they were injured, they would have all healed a life. All right, let's do this again. I'm going to explore the restaurant. Now remember, later in some future games, I'll be taking on missions, and those may send me to I may need to get to a certain location, like maybe rescue someone or escort someone to a lab or to the police station, or maybe I need to go raid something. Those missions will come later. Right now, I'm just testing the waters, okay? So let's go ahead and roll for the encounter and subtract 1. I rolled an 8 minus 1 is 7. Roll on the minions table. All right, here we go. Now, in this game, there are 3 different types of enemies. There are vermin, which are the lowest of the low, minions, which can be dangerous, and then there's boss level. So minions, you will get XP for. When you defeat a group of minions, you get one check mark. When you get 10 check marks of defeating minions, one character at the end of the game can attempt to level up. We'll get there when we get there. We may not get there today. When you defeat a boss, normally you get 2 check. Oh, no, I'm sorry. When you defeat a boss, you automatically get 1 XP level check at the end of the game. Sometimes you get more. It just depends. I'm thinking about 4 Against Darkness, but playing against 4 Against Mars, the rules may be slightly different. Let's see. All right, so in the restaurant, there is a minion. So what I do is I turn to the minion table, and I see what it is. Minions is on page 80, so I'm going to write this down. Just, again, I'm doing this so I can kind of remember. I'll probably need to photocopy all of these. I'd like to have them in a small little reference book, but we'll see. All right, so in the minions, now on the minions, I do not subtract the -1. That's just to roll for the encounter. So here, we are going to be fighting 3 plus 5 is 8. We're going to be fighting D6 plus 3 combat droids. All right, so here's how this works. I usually just write out what I've got here. So D6 plus 3. Let's roll a D6. Ooh, 8. So I've got 8 combat droids. Minions all have 1 health. So I'm going to draw 8 checkboxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Every time I do a full, and they are level 4, all right? Level 4. So every 4 points of damage I do, or an enemy or a hero does, will kill one of these. If I do 6 points of damage, it doesn't carry over. That just takes care of 1. There's this concept in this game called exploding die, where basically if you roll a 6, that equals 6, and then you get to roll it again. If you roll another 6, now your combat's up to 12. 12 would kill 3 of these guys. So exploding dice are really, really good. Now, because they outnumber I'm gonna write down here that they are in number 3. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my heroes down here, and I do this to represent who is fighting. First thing I've got is my combat specialist. Then I'm gonna put the criminal. Then I'm gonna put the medic, and then finally the scientist. Sort of based on my thoughts of who's strongest and who's weakest. Now, when you encounter minions, there's 2 things you can do. You can try to ambush them, like encounter them first, or you can see what they do and give them a free attack. It's possible they could get a free attack. Now, the D6 straight combat have a reaction. You roll a D6. Should I choose to negotiate with them, I could bribe them. If I roll a 1 to 3, I can bribe them, confiscate all weapons. That means they'll take all my weapons. I don't want that. On a 4 to 6, they fight. Their morale is +1, which means when you get to less than half of their number, there's a chance that the rest of them will run away. You roll a D6. On a 1 to 3, they run. On a 4 to 6, they stay and fight. Their morale is +1. So I'll add 1 to that roll, so it's more likely that they'll stay and fight. So their morale is +1. Hit at +2 by electrical weapons. Each destroyed droid yields 1 electronic component if a character passes a level 6 science roll. Roll once per droid. they fight with inbuilt buzzsaws and pinchers. And that's important because you come back to the weapons somewhere. Buzzsaws and pinchers. It just tells you what they're fighting with. I think that's more for flavor, not so much anything in particular. I'm just looking to make sure. Yeah, alien weapons, buzzsaw. Yeah, it's just to tell you what they're dealing with. All right. So when you encounter the minions, there's an initiative. All right. So when you encounter minions, there's a chance that they will surprise you. All right, and that surprise is a 1 in 6. So you first roll to see if they surprise you. Actually, no, it will tell you if they surprise you. For instance, what was I say? 80, page 80. All right, 2 in 6 chance of surprise for Martian scouts. The combat droids do not have that, which means I don't have to worry about them getting a surprise. So, do the enemies surprise you? No. PCs may roll stealth. Each PC rolls individually. Or I can choose to ignore the stealth roll and ambush and just straight attack them, which is probably what I want to do right now. PCs passing the stealth may do one of the following: attack, wait, skulk. I'm not going to do that. This is my first encounter. I'm going for it. All right, so my combat specialist has an attack of D6 plus level, which is 1, plus their weapon. And they have an assault rifle, which is plus 1. So I'm getting plus 2 on this roll, and I'm looking to meet or beat 4. So I need to roll 2 or higher. 2 plus 2. Remember my level plus my modifier. And basically rolling a 1, I think, is an automatic miss. If the defense roll, okay, hold on. Let me just double check that. I'm pretty sure that a roll of 1 is always a failure and means the character has been hit. That's defending. Attacking an enemy. I don't remember that happening on the attacks. Remember that rolling explosion if you're right. Okay, yeah. So there is no automatic fail for the attack. If you roll a 1, you get to add your modifiers. But for the defense, a roll of 1 is always a failure. I got to remember that. All right. Just want to make sure. And if I find out that I'm doing this wrong, then I'll make corrections in the next one. All right. So let's roll. So the combat specialist is rolling at plus 2. I rolled a 6. So there's 1, there's 6. So that is an exploding die. So 6 plus 2 is 8. I get to roll this again. 6 plus 5 is 11. Plus 2 is 13. 13 divided by 4 is enough to kill 3 of the droids. 1, 2, 3. So that was a good fight. All right, up next will be my my criminal. My criminal gets he's not doing an ambush, so it's just strictly plus half his level, and it didn't say you round up, so I'm assuming you do not. So he's basically trying to roll a 4 or higher. He does get plus 1 for his weapon, by the way. I forgot about that. Hold on. The weapon is a pistol. Let me just double check that, but I'm pretty sure the pistol gives him plus 1. This is why I want to have, here we go, pistol, plus 1 to attack rolls. All right, so he's got plus 1. I rolled a 4, plus 1 is 5. So 5 is enough to take out another combat droid. All right. I also move them forward to indicate they've gone. All right, my medic will attack next. The medic also has a pistol, so he is plus 1. He needs to roll a 3 or higher. I rolled a 6, which is excellent, and this is exploding. 6 plus 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. That's enough to kill 2 of these, and 1 left over, but that doesn't carry over to anything. And then finally, my my poor scientist who has only what does he have? He has a light hand weapon. and a sonic rifle. But the sonic rifle, if I remember right, doesn't do much. Two-handed, non-lethal versus living creatures. Attacks crystal. Yeah, it's non-lethal, so it can't kill them. I guess I'll just use the hand weapon. No modifier. So he's got a baseball bat. So he's going to strike out at one with a baseball bat. And I rolled a 1, so he misses. All right. Now it becomes the droid's turn. Since there are 2, and they've gone less than half, there's a chance they're going to run at this point. So I roll this die, and on a 1 to 3, they run. On a 4 to 6, they don't. But remember, the combat droids add 1 to their morale roll. I rolled a 1, plus 1 is 2, which is enough to send them running. So they do run, and by the way, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I did 6 droids that are killed, and this says that for the droids, I may yield 1 electronics component. So my scientist can choose to do a science roll. The science roll for the scientist is what was it? Let me go back and double check. I think it's just +1, or it's plus their level. Hold on. So he's level 1, so yeah, it would be +1. So the scientist adds +L to all science rolls. All right, so I'm going to get 6 chances. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll. Let's just use these reds. I got 6 red dice. So it says each destroyed droid may yield 1 electronic component if a character passes an L6 science roll. So 5s or 6s are good because he's got +1. I got 2 5s. So I recovered 2 +2 electronics components. And these are useful for the scientists to build experimental weapons and other equipment. That was good. All right, so, and they are a minion. So for the minions, what I normally do is I'll just put up here 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These are minions and bosses. Probably should have included these when I made this board, but oh well. Don't think I'm going to encounter more than 6 bosses, so put that there. All right, so I just defeated a group of minions, so I get a checkbox there. And remember, when I get 10, one of my characters can level up or choose a skill. All right, so they go back. No injuries, by the way. They go back to number 3, the restaurant. And my medic can heal +1 per level. Oh yeah, that's right. If he's a level 2, he would heals 1 life to every character that was wounded. All right, so he could heal 1 life from anybody that was injured at the end of an encounter, and that was the end of an encounter. All right, so that went well. I need to get some. Oh boy, let me get the spray real quick. All right. All right. Now I remember why I don't like these expo markers. They smear too easy. Okay, let's keep. Now, what we could do here, we could go over to the school. And by the way, I keep forgetting. Every time you go to a location, there are things that can be done. Let me find that for you. So, at the cottages, which was if used as a safe house, PCs may heal 1 additional wound every time they enter. So, when I went in there, if they were injured, they could have healed 1 additional wound. That's pretty cool. They are at the restaurant. If spending an uneventful turn here or rolling a peaceful encounter, all characters may rest and heal 1 insanity or 1 wound. I haven't dealt with insanity yet. We'll get to that when it happens. So, but I did have an encounter, so they cannot heal. If they took any damage, they wouldn't be able to use that. Now, if I go to the farm, there's a 2 in 6 chance of encountering mutilated cattle. If the area is occupied by greys, like for instance, if I rolled an encounter and there are greys there, the chance of finding mutilated cattle is 4 in 6. If a mutilated cattle is encountered, all characters must save versus L4 fear or take a 1 point insanity. If there is no violent encounter or the visit to the farm is uneventful, the characters may rest and heal for 1 wound. So as you're starting to see, as you move through some of these easier areas, when nothing happens, you can use that time to heal. So if I go to the school, what does the school offer me? All scientists can ask for peer opinions on their research and get a +1 on any science roll performed here. Any XP roll performed here is at +1 if trying to add a scientific skill. Okay, that's nice. Remember, you have to make the XP roll, and when you succeed at it, you can choose to either level up or pick a skill. So if you're choosing to pick a skill for the scientist, you want to go to the school before you make that roll. Now the farm, what does the farm give me? I already said the farm. School, the mall. The mall. All characters may pick up 1 non-weapon tool or item, including fire axes, and kitchen knives that also count as hand weapons. Nice. The park. +1 to stealth rolls. Okay. Hardware store. What's the hardware store? Doesn't have anything. Oh, here we go. Hardware store. It says hardware store is in the gray area. That's not true, is it? I don't remember that being in the gray area. No, the hardware store is in a white area, but it's listed in the gray area. But it's listed with a gun shop. All characters may get 1 pistol or 1 shotgun. Ooh, that could be good. But they've all got pistols, so except for well, no, they all have pistols, so that's not bad. How about the hospital? Probably they can heal. If unoccupied, all PCs may heal up to full health. This may be done once per game. So this is a game I'm playing, not once per encounter, once per game. The stadium, -1 on stealth. Town center, nothing special. Police station. Ooh, okay. That's where you can get a weapon. Okay, well, let's just keep going. Let's go to the farm. We're going to move to the farm. Before I roll on the mutilated cattle, I have to see what is encountered here. So we come back to page 74. And I roll -1 on 2 dice. That's not good. That's a 12. 12 minus 1 is 11, which is roll on the boss table. So they are at what, 4? They're at 4, and there is a boss. So first off, I need to. There aren't gray, so I don't have to worry about that that issue of what was it? The mutilated cattle. So let me see. Let me do the mutilated cattle first. 2 in 6 chance of encounter. So you roll a d6 on a 1 or 2. There's no mutilated cattle. There's just a boss. So now we go to the boss table. And the boss table is on page 81. All right, so bring these guys down here. The boss. Which if I defeat the boss, remember I get an automatic XP roll. Let's roll to see what it is. The boss rolls a d6. Please roll low. 3. 3 is a reptilian brute. All right. Reptilian brute. Level. Highest character level, minimum of 5. So it has 5 health right now. Oh, no, it's 6 life. Sorry. It's a level 5, though, to hit it. 6 life, normal morale. Each hit is 2 damage. Hit is 2 damage. If the brute flees, it will perform 1 attack at a random character with a tail slap. If hit, the character falls down and is unable to pursue. I am not going to, I'm just going to flat out fight this thing. So, rather than try to sneak and ambush it, because when you sneak, you all have to do it. And most of these guys are not going to pass a sneak against a level 5. So let's go ahead and let's duke it out. All right, my combat specialist is +L+1, so it's +2. So I need to roll a 3 or higher to hit this guy. And I'll roll green dice for my good guys. That's good, a 6. And I get to explode it. 10 + 2 is 12. That is enough to knock out 2 of the health points. Now, one other thing. When he's got 6 health, but he's level 5, when his health drops to less than half, so when he's down to 3 health or 2, 3, 2, or 1, he drops a level. So it gets easier to hit him. But remember also, when he gets below 6 health, he has to do a morale roll. So let me just double check because I want to make sure I do this right. Because I play a game called 4 Against Darkness, there is always a chance I could get rules, confused between the 2 games. Morale. So whenever a group of minor loses more than half its number, or when a major enemy loses more than half its hit points, you immediately roll a d6. On a 1 to 3, it runs away. Okay, so let's see. And the boss, if I remember right, this boss has no morale. No morale. Okay, that's good. All right, so next will be my criminal. Criminal is +1 with his pistol, so he needs to roll a 4 or higher. I rolled a 2, so he missed. The medic has a pistol, which is +1, so he needs to roll a 4 or higher. I got a 6. That's good. 6 plus 6 is 12. Plus 5 is 17. Plus his 1 is 18. 18 divided by 5 is 3. 18 divided by 5 is 3, yeah. So that was very, very good. We'll check to see his morale as soon as he goes. He needs to roll a 5 or higher. Oh, I did. And you know what? Because it's a 6, it doesn't matter. It's more than 5. So he rolled 8, which is enough to kill the boss. That means I get an automatic XP check, but it's not that easy. Now I have to get back to where was I? 4. Now I need to get back to my safe house. So the way you do this is now let me make sure that I got this right. The boss, roll on the boss table. I did. There was nothing. I didn't get anything. Armed with an energy melee weapon and a bioscanner. So I don't get anything like loot-wise after I defeat him. All right. So he is dead. It is now time to, and you only get the 1x. It's not a count. Doesn't count as a minion. So I need to get back to the restaurant. So when you move back to where you've already been, if it was clear the first time, if I remember right, there's a modifier. It's like not as. Give me just a second. I'm sorry. When you're moving through the town. Come on, here we go. There's a reference sheet in the back. Attacking civilian science espers, survivors, encounters, reaction, encounter. If check if all right, desired criminal. I do remember there is something about when you move through an encounter, okay. Chases, I'm not doing a chase. Enemies, fleeing. Okay, I'm not fleeing. Not doing that. Sorry. Let's find it. Come on. Leveling up, I'll do that in a minute. Searching areas. Okay, I didn't do that. Patrolling. All right. There's a limit to what. Okay, I'm not worried about encumbrance right now. Subplots, clues, not worrying about that. Return home. Completing a mission is not enough. You have to make it back to your safe house. The characters will be exhausted, probably wounded, and enemies will try to sneak up on them. For every area crossed, roll a 1 in 6 chance of encountering. All right, so I moved from the farm to here. On a 1 in 6, they encounter somebody. Of course they do. All right, so let me deal with that. All right, so there is an encounter. Now remember, it's -1 because I'm in the white areas. So the encounter on this will be 2d6s. That's a 6. Minus 1 is a 5. No encounter. Roll on special feature. All right, so let's roll a d6. That is a 5. Mysterious alien artifact. You can leave it alone or check it out. If you check it out, roll a d6. On a 1 to 2, you gain a clue. On a 3 or 4, the artifact is a robot that will attack you. Roll on the robot table, re-rolling any giant robot. 5 to 6, find one piece of alien tech or D6 electronics, and then you also get D6 batteries or D6 chemical components, your choice. Let's do it. Let's take a chance. Mysterious alien artifact. All right. The only thing I don't want to roll is a 3 or a 4. I rolled a 4. So I've got to deal with a robot. All right, robot. And then I have to go and roll on the robot table, which is roll on the robot table. Okay, let's find the robot table. Vermin, boss, weird robot. Here we go. Robot table is a D6. These are bad. Oh, 2. BattleBot. All right, a BattleBot. BattleBot is level, highest character level +1, so it's a level 2, which isn't too bad. Life equals highest character level minimum of 4, so it does have 4 life. 1 attack, 2 damage. Each blow on the robot, except attacks with electrical weapons, has a 2 in 6 chance of bouncing off. Morale is +1. Reactions, I'm just going to fight it. So we're at 3. So I'll move these down here. All right, let's do this. The combat specialist will roll, and it's +2. So I really can't miss. I haven't had to do any defensive rolls yet. I guess that's a good thing. The defense, like when it attacks me, I have to roll higher than its level to defend. So I would not match it. I have to roll a 3 or higher to defend versus a level 2 creature. Some of them have modifiers to their defense rolls. So we'll cross that bridge whenever I have to deal with it. All right, so combat specialist is rolling +2. I rolled a 3 +2 is 5. That's enough to kill 2 of the... oh, wait a minute, hold on. There's a 2 in 6 chance that it bounces off. It does not. So I did 2 points of damage. All right. The criminal will step up. He is +1, so he just needs to roll 1 or higher. I rolled a 6. That is excellent because 6 + 1 is going to be higher than 4. So but it might bounce off. 1 to 2, it bounces off. It bounces off. So his did not take. The medic steps up and fires +1. He needs to roll 1 or higher. He did. So he got a 3, which takes 1 out. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Did it bounce off? It did not. And then finally, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. All characters... all right, so except electrical. So yeah, so he's just the scientist just has a bat. Does he have a pistol? He does have a pistol, so he can do +1. No, he doesn't. He does not have a pistol. He has a light weapon. So he has just got to roll a 2 or higher. I rolled a 3, which is enough to kill the last one if it doesn't bounce off. It does not. So I killed the robot, which the robots are unaffected. Do the robots count as a boss? That's the thing. A scientist using okay. I don't think the robots count as a boss. Do they? Because you would think they are. I think they are. I think they're called a special character. Let's go back to combat and let's see what it says. Special combat. Morale, defeat, attack, weapons, unarmed, unfamiliar, defending. Okay, hold on. It's here. It's here. It's under XP, I believe. Minor enemies, major enemies. Major enemies include bosses, weird menaces, and any enemy with 2 or more life points. So it is a boss. So major enemies, when a major enemy loses more than half its level, drops away 1. So it would have gotten easier to beat. Fleeing enemies. Okay, so enemies belong in 2 groups, minor and major. But that is not a... Do I get a boss For defeating a major enemy, do I get an XP check? Let's keep going and see. It's probably under the level. Here we go. Leveling up. Every time the team kills major enemies, completes a mission, or survives 10. And so this was a major enemy. So I get another checkbox here. Instead of calling that bosses, I should just call it major enemies. All right, so they did that. Let's put them back here, and let's keep going. They're going to move back to the cottages. Remember, a 1 in 6 chance. Nothing. And then they can move automatically into their safe house without that roll as long as they're not being chased, and they weren't being chased. So that is it. So let's wrap this up. I get 2 XP rolls. The minion checkboxes carry over to the next game. You just keep them, so I'll keep that there. These will reset once I make the roll. So let's do this. I definitely want my combat specialist to level up because she adds her level to her attack roll. So she's getting the most benefit. And then the next one gets the most benefit is my criminal because he adds his level half the level. So if he's level 2, he'll get another +1. So I'm going to try to level these 2 up. And the way this works is you have to roll a d6 and you have to roll higher than their current level. They're both level 1. So for the combat specialist, the only thing I don't want to roll is a 1. I didn't. She levels up. The criminal does not want to roll a 1. And I did. So unfortunately, the combat specialist goes to level 2. And I lost I lost this one. So that's okay. And I did find some equipment. And let's see, is there anything else that happened? That's about it. They made it safely back. I didn't have to do any defense rolls, so chances are we'll have to do that on the next game. But I hope you enjoyed this. It's just like 4 Against Darkness, which takes place in a dungeon with fantasy heroes. This one is a sci-fi version. It's just a very simple little dungeon crawl in quotes, but it's a sci-fi vibe to it. You move around, you encounter enemies, you get loot, you hope to survive, get back, and you heal, and you do it all over again. So this was scenario or episode number 2. In episode number 3, I may take on a mission, not sure yet. Or what I may do is set myself a goal to explore the level 2 areas. We'll see how this plays out. All right, if you are interested in the game, check the video description below for links where you can find it. I hope you enjoyed watching me play through it. I'll be back very soon with episode 3 of 4 Against Darkness. Until then, this is Jim, the Tabletop Engineer. Thanks for joining me, and everybody, take care.